Bros and Balance, embracing life, one combo at a time. I'm Gibrann, and welcome to the podcast where we dive into the strength of open dialogue among friends. Join us as we explore life's challenges and occasionally bring in guest speakers for candid conversations. Here, guys can be authentic, unfiltered, and free from judgment.
My name is Miguel. Welcome, gentlemen, to a space where we encourage open, honest conversations about life's challenges, triumphs, and everything in between.
My name is Robert. Together we'll explore a wide range of topics from relationships and personal development to career challenges and mental well-being. Yo, welcome to episode 1 of Bros and Balance.
Uno.
Man, how do you guys feel?
I'm good. I feel great about this.
Yeah, I'll be a bit honest. I'm a little nervous just because it's first episode, but you know we're gonna go with it. Just go with the flow.
Yeah, I think I'm a little nervous too, but I'm really excited. Like sitting here in Miguel's home. So thank you for having us here too, bro. Like
My casa, your
first
casa.
That's it, dude. We're doing it in
apartment?
Miguel's house, and like obviously, I think we're gonna.
10 years from now, we're gonna be like, remember that first episode?
On Miguel's kitchen table.
Yeah. Yes.
Have our own studio.
Yeah, that's the goal, bro. That's
with
the goal.
soundproof panels
Yes, please.
and like 4 cameras everywhere.
4 cameras everywhere, tracking everything.
Nah, but this is gonna be great. I think we're onto something good.
Yeah. So this episode is really kind of an introduction, right? And to talk about so that you guys can get to know who we are and why we're even doing this. So I guess I'll just start and just kind of talk a little bit about myself and
Go for it.
So for those of you that don't know my voice, my name is Robert. I'm 36 years old, I think. My birthday's in November. I think I'm turning 37 this year.
What?
Yeah. November 11th.
We were the same age.
How old are you, bro? You're going to be 30.
I'm going to be 35.
I'm going to be 36 then. My bad.
Okay.
I don't even know anymore.
The same age.
We probably are. You're going to be 36,
I'm
right?
gonna be 37.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, what year were you born?
87.
No,
So somebody
bro, you're gonna be
podcast would do the
36.
math.
So then you're gonna be 36.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was born 86,
Oh
and I'm
my
only a
gosh.
month after.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be 36 this year.
You lose track after you turn 25.
I don't keep count anymore.
After 30, don't matter.
A little bit about me. I grew up in Southern California. I was born in Hollywood. I lived in LA for a few years, and then I moved to an area called the San Fernando Valley, which is like 45 minutes north of LA, downtown LA, and I lived there pretty much the rest of my life. Some of you may know, but there was a big earthquake in Northridge in that valley, like in 92. And we ended up, man, I still remember that, like being picked up and taken out in the middle of the night by my neighbor. And I'm like, what's going on? And he puts
Like,
me,
'cause your house
literally,
went down?
no, because everything was shaking.
Okay.
And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, I gotta run back inside. And he throws me in the trunk of a car. And he runs back inside to check on like my mom and my dad and everybody else. Like they're just trying to run out of the house. It was crazy, dude. And then we camped outside in the front yard for like a whole week, having cup of noodles and Chef Boyardee soups and stuff.
That's
it was
crazy.
like, it was wild, dude. It was wild. People were really scared.
How old are you? You remember?
And 92, so I was 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude, it was wild. But so yeah, I grew up there, man. I played soccer pretty much all my life. I lived in a very sheltered lifestyle. Like my parents were awesome, man. I mean, I was the butthead, and they gave me just about everything I wanted, everything I needed at all times. You know, if I needed something, they'd make it happen. But I was like a rebel and always wanted to mess up and do stupid things. And I went through high school there. I went to a community college out in LA as well. And school just wasn't the thing for me. Like I'd always just wanted to party, man. I always just wanted to mess up and have a good time. And
I mean, you're in Hollywood.
I mean, at what age did you start partying?
probably like 17, 18.
Yeah.
I had my first fake ID at like 19.
Dang.
Yeah, I didn't even look like the dude, bro. It worked out
And you needed a fake ID to get what?
to get alcohol or to go to clubs
okay.
or
Well, you were already
Get into
going to
bars.
clubs?
Yeah.
16, 17?
no, 19.
Okay. But
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, no, 19.
it worked out, dude. We had a good time, you know. And obviously, I did those things 'cause I had fun. I had a lot of fun, man. But at some point, I started to realize that I couldn't keep up with partying, man. Partying was kind of getting too crazy for me.
At what age was that?
Probably like 22,
Yeah. Okay.
and I started to drink a lot. drink very heavy, and we could talk about that in later episodes, like my drinking and stuff. But by the grace of God, man, I'm sober, going on 12 years now. So no alcohol. Yeah, man. So that's big for me. But I met Irene. We had our first son before getting married. Her and I have been back and forth, up and down, all over the place. We got married in 2014. Then 2015 we had Thomas. We bought our own house. We sold our own house during quarantine. Only because she wanted to sell it. Like, I had no vision. I was cool. I wanted to stay there. Like, we loved it. I loved it. We had just got one of those above ground pools.
Nice.
So like, I had a good time, dude. I felt good. I was happy. And then,
did you maintain that pool, or did you pay somebody to come?
No, I maintained it. I took care of it like every day. And I was working from home.
Oh, nice.
So I'd go outside, take care of it, clean it. Bro, I'd be working in my backyard with my laptop.
Because I heard that's
jump in the pool.
Most expensive thing to do is to maintain it, right?
Maintenance sucks, bro. And I don't know if I was doing it right, but it was hard. And it was expensive, too, to take care of that stuff. But we sold the house, and then we wanted to buy it in LA again. That didn't end up happening because things were getting crazy expensive.
And then when you sold the house, where were you living?
Where was I living? I lived with my mom for a year.
Okay.
Yeah, she didn't live too far from me, probably like 10, 15 minutes.
That's good to have.
That's cool.
Yeah, super helpful, dude. Super helpful. And during that time, we saved money, spent money, because we weren't paying a mortgage anymore. So we did a lot of dumb things too, but we traveled a little bit. And then we were kind of just like, let's just do something else. Let's just go somewhere else. I applied to jobs at 5 different states, Oregon, also California, but different counties, Nevada, Utah, and I think Florida. And I got a couple offers, but Utah was the one that was like, let's do it. The University of Utah. And I looked at Irene like, let's go.
Isn't that crazy?
We talked about this. We prayed about this.
What if they would have called you from Florida? And you be in
Bro,
Florida.
I'd probably be in Florida.
It's crazy how one thing can change your life completely.
Yeah.
You're here for a reason.
Yeah. I definitely believe that, bro. I definitely believe that we were brought here for a reason.
Right. And
especially like doing this kind of podcast and sitting right here at this table right now makes me feel that even more, to be honest. So here we are, man. A year later, straight up Utahns now.
A year almost.
You got your crib.
A year. Yeah, we bought a house.
That's a nice crib too.
January. Thank you, man. It's been a blessing. It's been it's been a huge blessing. Saratoga's beautiful. I love living there.
You found a new hobby?
I found a beautiful hobby that I can't wait to do again. An expensive one. Snowboarding is the one. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. And really, the reason why I want to do this podcast is what you guys just said. Like, I feel like there's a reason why I'm here. I feel like there's a reason why we're doing this. And we're going to be talking a lot about well-being and mental health and how we, all three of us, handle our life and how we do things. And I think people need to hear that. And I think even if just one person listens to this podcast, one person is changed by this, that's an impact.
Absolutely.
So,
well, your story is already inspiring, so
thank you, man.
Even just with me listening to it.
So go for it. I think it's your turn then.
My turn?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. All right, well, if you could hear me, this is Gibrann Lopez. Originally born in Mexico City. I came at the age of 3. My mom brought me through the border. My grandma already had lived in New York. She came with a work visa, and was working. She was a nanny. She worked for a family that lived in Long Island, and they had a nice house. And when I moved out to New York, I remember her taking me every summer to spend time with her and while she was working as a nanny. And I made friends with a guy named Michael, which we still keep in contact through Facebook. It's pretty cool. Just recently. I mean, my life is pretty crazy, guys. Like, crazy. Like, Miguel knows a little bit about it. But just to kind of give you a summary, I grew up as an illegal immigrant, pretty much. I didn't know I was an illegal immigrant technically until I started to apply for colleges and realized I don't have financial aid. I realized that I had to submit my real name, which is not just Gibrann Lopez. It's a longer name than what I expected.
So wait, so you say, when you say that, sorry to cut you off,
No,
but
it's all
when
right.
you say that you didn't know you were growing up as an illegal immigrant, what were you under the understanding on?
Yeah, my parents pretty much raised me, I would say, well. I was the only child for as long as until I was like 15. And my parents would get me everything I wanted: sneakers, Jordans, Nintendos, PlayStations, and so I thought I was living the good life,
Right.
comparison to other people who were citizens and they, you know, were struggling financially and all that. So I was like comparing myself in that sense.
That makes sense.
We would even take trips to Florida, Orlando, and other trips to like Niagara Falls and wherever we could, right, inside the U.S. But yeah, I had uncles in Texas who owned houses, so we would visit them, and I thought, you know, I felt like I was already part of, you know, the American citizens, and but yeah, until I started to apply for jobs, or primarily school. And I was like, how am I going to pay for school? Like, I don't have, my parents weren't going to pay for my school because my mom worked to pay the bills. At that time, my mom was a single mother. So she was working 9 to 5, so more like 12 hours a day, just working, slaving. She was a nail technician, so she was working off the books. And I would just stay home all day. At some point, I lived with my grandma, my uncles, my grandma, my uncle, my aunt, but it got to the point where they moved out and my mom wanted to have her own place. And then my father was in the picture. He would at first live with us, and then he would have to go back to Mexico because he had a job, like a stable job in Mexico. He was a respiratory technician. So he helped, you know, put ventilations on patients.
That's awesome.
And, you know, treat patients with asthma and stuff like that. And I had asthma too, so he would bring me medications from Mexico. So yeah, I'm getting too deep into it, but
but we can dive more into that.
Yeah, at a different time.
Want, yeah, in another episode, because I think that's a great subject that we need to touch on. Because I think there's a lot of us that maybe grew up similarly. You know, not necessarily like that,
but almost like a surprise, like, oh
right.
snap, like
that's why that shocked me.
What is happening?
Like,
why can't?
I know, but I believe there's a lot of kids like that right now.
Yeah.
And then maybe I would like kind of realize that I was illegal, but not really, because it wasn't really like that much talked about.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll put the puzzles together and maybe try to deny it, just because I didn't want to be an outcast in school or be treated like, oh, he's an immigrant. You know, I got bullied even so it's, you know, I went to a school where the population was primarily African American, and then maybe some Hispanics.
What city did you go to school in?
Oh yeah, so I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, my whole life. Worked in Manhattan when I started working, which I worked in the restaurant industry, and from there I just figured out how to provide. And then I got married at the age of 19, had my first child at 21, and since then I'm still with my wife. We had a lot of ups and downs, which again we're talking about another episode, I'm sure. But yeah, and it's not until recently, like in the next week or two, actually in October 16th, that I'm gonna finally be able to apply to get citizenship.
Heck yeah.
That's good. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
amazing, dude. Long time coming.
Bro, I'm telling you, and we'll dive deeper into this, but there was a time where at the age of 14, my mom was like, "Oh, you're acting out. You know, you're being rebellious. You're not listening to me. I'm gonna send you to Mexico." So she did, and at that time too, my mom was like, "I'm planning to move there too and get back with your dad, and we're gonna be together as a family." So I moved out to Mexico, lived there for a year. Went to a school called Benemérito de las Américas, and which is a school from the LDS Church.
Yeah.
And I was intern for the first half semester, and then I went external and lived with my father, or not really, with my grandmother. My father lived in his apartment with his new girlfriend, so there was not going to be that reuniting with the family and getting the family back together. And I realized that once I got there. So at that point, I lived there for a year. My mom was like, I'm not gonna move to Mexico anymore, and I want to see how you can get back. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a whole another story. But I basically had to cross the border again because my dad didn't want to get me the visa to get here legally, and so my mom paid for a coyote and got me back.
How old were you when this happened?
I was 15 at that time.
Wow.
Yeah. You had to come back by yourself?
Yeah, which was crazy. Wow. Yeah, that whole story is crazy. Again, I think it's by the grace of God too that I got back I got back to safety.
In one piece, bro.
One piece, yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro. Just so you hear so many horror stories about stuff like that.
Yeah. So then I got back to New York, and then we moved out to Utah, which again, a whole nother day, a whole nother episode to talk about that.
What year did you move to Utah?
About 9 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2015, I think.
So this is kind of like off topic, but you were in New York then for 9/11 and.
Oh yeah, I was.
I'd love to like pick your brain about that.
Oh yeah, bro.
Because we were just watching a documentary about it the other day, and it's still like it's just terrifying, dude. It's so sad.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. So I when in school when we heard about it, you could see the smoke from the school, and you could smell the smoke from the school.
Wow.
And they basically got us all into a room and put on the TV, and then showed us the news, and then from there they sent us home. And then when I got home, all I remember was putting on the TV, watch the news, and I was like, oh, shoot, it's about to be World War III right now. Okay. And I was also scared because my uncle worked in Manhattan at that time. So he got trapped out of Manhattan. Luckily, he wasn't near the Twin Towers. He was like a few blocks away. Mm-hmm. But he was trapped out there because they closed the subways and all that. And then
that's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, now I'm here, back with my family. I mean, I'm with my family, my wife, my kids. I have 3 kids. I work for the University of Utah Health. Things are going very smooth, and I think it's just blessings from God. And that's me now. Later at a different point, I'll tell you more about before I came back to God and Jesus and all that and all the struggles that I've been through. But yeah, that's pretty much my story and the summary.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is my voice. My name is Miguel. I am the 3rd member of Bros and Balance.
The 3rd member?
We're like Destiny's Child. If one of you guys goes off and becomes famous, please take us.
Who's Beyonce?
Yeah, who's Beyonce? Gibrann, because he's from New York.
I'm going to get my Sasha Fierce.
Where are they from? New York? I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't remember.
I have no idea where they're from.
We'll find out.
I think they're from Houston. I think she's from Houston.
Houston. That's what it is. She's from Houston. She's from Texas.
Never mind then. Sorry.
It's all good. Yeah. All right, go ahead, Michelle.
Listen.
Kelly Rowland.
Well, I mean, let's see, just a little bit about me. You guys will, as you guys have heard from Robert and Gibrann here, we're going to get to know all 3 of us a little bit more, deeper throughout this podcast. So, the more you listen to us, the more you will get to know us. And obviously, we're going to talk about other stories as well and stuff like that to help everybody. But just a little bit about me. I grew up in Mexico. I was born in Guadalajara back in December 27th of 1986. Dang, that's a long time.
Guadalajara? Isn't that where Canelo's from?
Mm-hmm.
Dope.
Yeah. Canelo, Vicente Fernandez.
Bro,
all the legends.
You're in the list with the elites.
Champion, Alexa Grasso.
Yeah.
Alexa, fuck.
You said Alexa?
Yeah, Alexa's like turning on over there in the kitchen.
Oh.
No, but yeah, I grew up in Mexico. I grew up in a town near Guadalajara. So I was born in Guadalajara. I lived there. I don't have any memory of it, but I lived there, I think, from what my parents say till I was 1. We lived in an apartment in Guadalajara. And then from there, we moved to a town called Villa Corona. So that's about 45 minutes from Guadalajara. I could not tell you what direction, though. And yeah, I mean, so, unlike you guys, I don't come from a big city. I didn't grow up in LA or New York or any of that. So I'm the small town boy here.
Small town boy. Is that in a song?
I think so. I think it's Small Town Girl.
It is Small Town Girl.
But yeah, no, I mean, and then, when I was 11, my dad used to work here in the United States throughout my whole life. Well, not throughout my whole life. I would say he used to work in Guadalajara. I used to go to his job with him. He worked at a pool place. They made pools. And then I would say...
Like swimming pools, not like billiard
Yeah,
pools?
like swimming pools, like fiberglass swimming pools.
Oh, okay.
And I would just go to his job, and I would just play on the computer back then. I would say I was probably around 5, 6, 7. I don't know. I don't remember.
Do you remember what game you played on the computer?
Yeah, the snake game. Because there was only like a couple games on that. You know, the little snake.
Yeah, that's an original. That's a classic.
Yeah, that's
It's one of the greatest games ever.
Hours.
I remember just playing that on the Nokia.
Yeah.
You can still download the app. I actually downloaded it the other day.
Yeah, I should get that.
We'll
It's
do an
fun,
episode
bro.
on classics, but no, but yeah, like we would go to his work, and you know, I loved it. We were all over there, but I don't know what happened. I don't know if he lost his job or what, and he had the hardest time. I remember he had the hardest time finding a job over there. He would go apply every day and everything, because back then, you know, you had to go in person and submit your application or whatever. So then he decided to come here to California with my uncle, and he would just travel back and forth, California to Mexico every 6 months. I don't know. He would do like 6 months or whatever, you know, the most of the year over here working, and like he would go down there for the holidays for a few months. And I would say when I was 11, so back in 1998, he decided it would just be better for all of us to be here, you know. So he decided to bring us all here. He did not want us to live in California though, so because my uncles live in Stockton, and you know, like that area, yeah. So I mean, I don't know. My cousins live there. They all grew up there. I don't know how it is. I've never lived there, but you know, he wanted us to be somewhere more family oriented, I guess, like Utah, and also he had better opportunities here. So we came here. He came here. Then we moved here after he was here for a few months. I didn't know a word of English. I remember I was 11. I had just graduated from 6th grade over there, so I finished elementary in Mexico. Got here, didn't know any English. Since I was advanced, for my age in school, they had to put me back into 6th grade here. So I had to start from 6th grade here in Utah, which was good because like I already knew all the subjects, you know, like I had already studied all that. So that whole year I just learned English.
How fast do you think it took you to learn English?
I would say... Honestly, I would say to perfect it, I mean, I'm still perfecting it, but to learn it, like that I could have a conversation with somebody, I would say probably at least the first year, second year of school. I would say by the end of 6th grade there, I was probably okay.
Good.
You know,
that's cool.
But, and then going into junior high, I mean, I still had a lot to learn, but just little by little, and, you know, just been here since then. Here in Utah, we moved to Pleasant Grove. I graduated from Pleasant Grove High School back in 2005. I still have some friends from high school. I hardly ever talk to anybody though. And you know, just I was married. I got married when I was 24, 25. And then I'm divorced as well. So I got married, divorced, met Hera almost 3 years ago, and you know, we've been together since. We're engaged. So I'm engaged, not married yet, but we're working on that. And yeah, I mean, I'm doing this podcast honestly, like you said, Robert has been an inspiration for me as well. Like ever since you got here, like Gibrann and I would, you know, we would talk, we were cool, but we never came up with ideas like this. We would just like, you know, shoot the shit kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like you came, I don't know, you came in, ever since you came into work, because in case you guys don't know, we all work together. We all work at the University of Utah.
And play pool together, like pool every day.
We could say work, and you know, there's quotation marks going up in the air, but
it's a mental break.
And then we're gonna plan to do some snowboarding.
Hell yeah!
Heck yeah.
We played soccer together a few times.
Right. Well, once.
And I still have yet to do that.
No, but like ever since you got there, like, you know, like you and I think we kicked it off right away. And like, I don't know, just you have big goals and big dreams, and that kind of woke me up again, like, because that's me, but like I haven't been like that for a while, you know, like I was just pretty content with my life, I would say, if anything. But not like, I think you're bringing out the best in me. Like you're obviously you've got us here together, you know. I know that the three of us are doing it, but the main reason that we're here is because of you. So
Nah.
no, for
Oh
sure.
my
Yo,
gosh,
for real.
bro.
I'll
For
tell
real.
you an example.
Oh my
Robert
gosh,
talks
bro.
about setting goals. Robert follows up.
Yeah, absolutely.
He does everything
Nah,
like you would think an entrepreneur
like you're supposed
would do.
to. Yeah. If I was to do it by my own, this would never happen.
He got us mics.
Yeah, no, you're on top of it.
I got mics because this guy was already telling people we were gonna do this. I'm like, dang, we should.
Oh, really?
We probably need to buy the
So
mics.
putting you on the spot. with that.
Nah, but like you and I've been talking. You and I have talked
I
a
hear
lot
that.
about.
I appreciate that, man.
About what
I really
we need
do.
to do and all that, and like you've talked to me about your support groups that you have at church, and stuff like that, and I just figure, we talked about this podcast as a joke, kind of at the beginning, I would say, and then as the more we thought about it, like I think we all bring something different and special to the table.
Yeah.
That we can help out other dudes or even girls, it doesn't matter, just other people in general that are going through the same crap that we go through, or that don't know how to handle certain situations that we have all been through, or know people have gone through. So I just want to get the word out there. Like, I just want to help people. Like, like I told you, like, I don't care if we get famous, I don't care if we get rich or whatever. Like, I just, like you said, one person that listens to it, one person that helps, like, that's enough. Like,
That feels good.
Yeah, absolutely.
That feels good.
No, I get it. I've been super excited about this. So yeah.
Me too.
I mean, it already feels like a therapy session.
Right.
So, and then the other thing I wanted to say too is that Robert not only started with this podcast idea, but he's also very business oriented. Bringing up ideas to start businesses together, and then we even met up for a business lunch and discussed options and ideas of what business projects we could work on together. And this and that from there just led to this and having the podcast. So I think overall, another reason why we're doing this is just to get the word out, that there's a lot of people like us out there that need to hear some of the things we're sharing today and in the future, but also to be able to expand and unite a community as well of Latin men and Hispanic men all across Utah. I think the Latino community is growing within Utah, so
Yeah.
I think that's a big focus that we have as well, just to share our backgrounds and our stories with everyone.
Man, I appreciate the both of you. Like, that's really big. I think what we're doing is big.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm inspired by both of you too. I really am. Like, I feel like I have to say something positive about the both. No, but for real, like,
no obligation.
No. Like, I'm inspired, man, because I come from Cali. I jump into this job, and there aren't a whole lot of Latino, what would you call it, like supervisors or managers, like leadership, right? In where we're at the moment. So to see both of you thriving in your positions, and you guys are making it happen, and people love you. Like, I come into this place and people say very positive things about each of you from the get-go, and I felt that from you, Gibrann, like when we first met and I interviewed with you. I'm like, man, this guy, like, I want to follow this guy. He's obviously doing something right here, And then I appreciate, Miguel, your friendship too, man. And because he's right. When I got my supervisor position, he's like, yo, like, I know you might not know a whole lot of people. Like, you want to kick it? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it,
Right.
Yeah, that's Miguel right there. I was telling Miguel the other day, sorry to cut you off, but
No, it's all good.
Miguel is someone who is super empathetic, super down to earth, and always there for someone. Like, when you're having a rough time, he's there for you. And he would be there to hear you out, share some advice, and just help you, and I think that's a great quality to have.
I agree. He always send me a text like, yo, you need anything, let me know.
See, I'm not very good, and I know my weaknesses and I know my strengths. Well, I think most of them, but I'm not very good at, like, the technical stuff, the business oriented mind. Like, I want all that, but my brain just doesn't compute that way. But when it comes to helping people, or like listening to somebody, or like if I can make their day brighter, whatever way I can, I love doing that shit. Like, I love it. That's my thing. But like, I was gonna say too about Gibrann, like, you say like you use him as, I don't know what you said exactly, but like I was gonna piggyback off of that. When I interviewed to become a coach, they asked me, I don't remember what the question was, but
Who do you want to grow up to be?
something like
He
that.
said, "I wanna be
Not
Gibrann."
necessarily like that, but it was something like that, and it was like, I just told him, I'm like, the one coach that I know is always on top, and like he's always like, I don't know, like he just always looks sharp. He's always on top, and he's like doing the right thing for his people. Is Gibrann, and I told him, I'm like, I want to get to a point that I'm like Gibrann. So I think, you know, me saying that, and I really meant it, but I think me saying that got me the job. Because like you're a badass at work. Let's face it, you are. So like, who does not want to be like Gibrann?
Bro,
We even
like,
have little stickers that say "Be like Gibrann." So
yeah, and like with this news, with obviously our manager leaving, like people want you to be in that role,
Right.
you know. So it's because of what people know you can bring to the table, you know. So
it's, we all, like I said, we all have different weaknesses and strengths. We all bring something different to the table, and that's just a little bit about all of us.
that's good, man. That's really good. And I appreciate the both of you and us doing this. I'm really happy about sitting here right now. I think big things are gonna happen. And there was this time that I worked at a placement home in LA. So these kids that had committed crimes, and they had just gotten out of juvenile hall, and they were trying to transition back into society. And some of them had committed like really bad things, really bad crimes. And I didn't always connect with all the kids, but I had one kid tell me something that kind of impacted me, man. Like at the end, he's like, "Man, I wouldn't have been close to God if it wasn't for you." I was like, "Wow!" Like, because him and I would have conversations. Like, I really tried my best with all the kids, but one kid said that to me, dude, and he like announced it in front of everybody. There was like a presentation and everything. I was like, "Dang." So it's the same thing with this podcast, like. Whether we get one person, 100 people, 1,000 people, whatever, like.
Right, as long as it reaches anybody.
Somebody
Anybody out there needs to hear what we have to say.
Yeah.
You know, and it might help, and it's gonna help somebody. We don't know when, where, who, but it will.
Yeah, and then just to kind of clarify to everyone who's listening, we're just going with the flow right now.
Yeah.
And in reality, we don't even know where this is going to be uploaded. And so if there's comment section in
None
it,
of this is
just
scripted.
go ahead and write your comments. Give us your feedback.
Please tell us how we're doing.
Let
What
us
you
know
think?
what you think. And then be honest. You know, I think honest feedback is always what's going to help us to improve, you know, what we're doing. And, you know, we're looking forward to seeing all that and replying back to you guys and all that. And who knows, you know, if you're listening through this whole thing, maybe we'll start doing some raffles in the future, and you guys could win some prizes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, just to get people to listen in and tune in.
Yeah.
I like that. That's really good.
I was just gonna say one more thing though. We are not licensed therapists. We are not.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that.
As you could probably tell.
So, just so you guys know, these are just straight up our opinions, our experiences, our lives, our points of views on stuff, you know, but nothing has, like, we don't have any licenses. We're not no doctors, no therapists, no psychics, none of that. So take what you guys want from us, and you know, that's it, honestly.
And sometimes School of Hard Knocks is better than a license.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, not to knock all you therapists out there and people who have worked your butts off to get to where you're at, because I used to work in a mental health facility, and I had a lot of friends that did that. But they can't always speak to every single experience, something that maybe you went through, Gibrann, or Miguel went through, or that I went through. Like, sometimes the stuff that we went through is going to help somebody more than what a therapist can do.
Yeah, I actually see a therapist every week.
Yeah, I did that for a whole year and a half too.
And
I think it's important.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's good from it.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say something.
Say it.
Oh yeah, I was
Bring
gonna say
it.
to piggyback on what Miguel said. I'm like, yeah, we're not therapists. I'm even gonna cut Miguel's hair right after this.
This is that business mindset that we're trying to bring up.
Thank
Gibrann
you
might
for
start a
the video.
I'm
barbershop.
gonna give Miguel a fresh shape up.
We might have an episode where it's just called the barbershop or something like that, and he's just cutting our hair.
Yeah,
Forgot about it. You're cutting my hair.
yeah, bro. I got my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to talk about, like, as we close, like the different ideas for these podcasts and these episodes too, like Miguel and I, when we started talking about this, we talked about like doing different activities. Like Miguel and I, man, I love snowboarding. Like I didn't know I was gonna love it as much as I did when I came to Utah, but I couldn't wait for it to start snowing so we can do it. You know, maybe we'll snowboard for a little bit, and then at the base of the mountain do something like this, just record, you know, or go play golf, or go to the park, or just whatever, man. Like go for a hike and talk while we're hiking, or the other way around, or sit down, who knows. But ultimately, this is about finding balance in your life. And I'm gonna be the first to say this. If I'm not sure if they've said this, but I'm not perfect at all. Like I sometimes feel like I don't have balance. Mm-hmm. I sometimes feel like things are going wild in my life, and sometimes that's by my own doing, you know. So I think we're on this journey to try to do this together and figure this out together, and what works for us to help us find balance. And we're just gonna see where this goes. So I hope this is super beneficial for those of you listening.
Yeah, we got a ton of stuff in the works, and I know it's gonna get better and better. So stay tuned. Follow us. Hit the subscribe button if there is one.
Here, up on the right corner. Or on the bottom left. I don't know.
Wherever it's at, just make sure you love us.
Share it with your friends, whoever you think is going to find interest in it. But yeah, any other closing remarks from you?
Nah, I was just going to say, if anybody has any suggestions for topics that they want us to discuss, or experiences that they've gone through that they want us to talk about, we're gonna have our accounts of social media set up here pretty soon and everything. So once we have that, we will announce those, and you guys can send those to us, so we can discuss those.
Yep, that's it.
All right, cool. Peace.
Later.
Stay connected with us on all your favorite social media platforms for even more Bros and Balance content. Catch us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify, where we'll share exclusive behind-the-scenes moments, bonus content, and exciting updates related to health, wellness, and brotherhood. To ensure you never miss an episode or an update, make sure to subscribe and follow us at Bros and Balance. Dive deeper into the world of balance with us.